Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, talking up some Sun Devils. Arizona State, Jordan Kay joins us from House of Sparky on a fairly regular basis to break down Herm Edwards' team. One season in the books for the former NFL analyst and head coach. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. So we've got about 10 days until the second national signing day. Most teams are pretty lined up. It appears Arizona State as well, with 4 guys enrolled. We got 15 players already signed to national letters of intent. In addition to that, and one hard commit that hasn't signed on the dotted line, but pretty well confirmed. So in regards to any other possible targets out there, how do we stand?
There's not much traction right now that I've heard of. One guy that ASU was really trying to get was a DB out of Williams Field in Arizona, Noah Paula Gates. Alabama came in on him late. His final 3 was ASU, USC, and Nebraska. And actually at the Polynesian Bowl a few weeks ago, he chose Nebraska. Apparently he had signed like a letter of intent early and just kind of didn't let anyone know. So that was kind of a target that ASU was really looking at. Would have been a huge addition to their class, kept the in-state rankings a little better, but he goes to Nebraska, and right now I think they're kind of content with their class, but I think they're going to add a few more pieces.
Got Jordan Kay on the line from House of Sparky. Join him and the rest of the staff there at SB Nation in breaking down Arizona sports. The recruiting rankings right now at number 5 in the nation, or number 5 in the Pac-12, number 31 in the nation. Probably won't budge too much from that. Your thoughts about where the class stands, what you like, what maybe they missed on?
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid overall, especially just for Herm Edwards, really his first full go at the recruiting cycle. They addressed a lot of needs. They needed to get bigger. They needed to get taller. Just kind of those guys that you look at when the intimidators coming off the bus. They didn't really have too many of those. Herm Edwards would say that he would look over to the other teams and be like, man, like we're going to be like that someday. We need to get like that. And I think that's kind of what they accomplished. They got a lot of interior linemen that are much bigger, and they also hit their biggest need, and that was quarterback. And they got 3 of them, which is kind of surprising. But I guess in the day and age, especially with the transfer portal, it's better to have more than less. So they picked up Ethan Long, a kind of a dual threat option from Oregon, Joey Yellen, more of a pocket passer from Mission Viejo, California, and then Jayden Daniels, who's actually ranked in the top 50 among most recruiting services. He's a 4-star all across the board. And he's the guy, I guess, just because of the rankings that you would give the edge to in this QB competition when spring ball starts in just over a week. He's kind of the guy that I guess everyone's looking at just because of the star rankings. But I think that's anything but in cement right now. Yeah,
so folks, listen to what Jordan's saying there. He is number 35 right now in the 247 listings, number 35, regardless of position.
Yeah.
So we're talking about top 300 players being elite. Even beyond that, you're going to get some very, very capable impact players, maybe some superstars as well, way beyond the top 300. This kid is number 35 in the nation, regardless of position. Number 2 rated dual threat quarterback, Jaden Daniels, out of California. You mentioned Joey Yellen. And again, all you have to do is go back to the recruiting rankings for any particular position over a number of years. And just because Daniels is where he's rated, Yellen is still a high recruit. Top 12 at his position. That doesn't mean Daniels is necessarily better than Yellen. We shall see how the scouting reports play out. And Jordan, of course, you let me know before we started to record. We're going to see how some of this stuff plays out very, very soon. With spring camp starting on February 3rd. My goodness.
Yeah, it's over a month earlier than they started last year. And the thinking behind it, I guess, was once you get it over with sooner, then you can kind of start more of the off-season preparation and the off-season weight trainings and those sessions. You can do that before all the guys leave school. There was something with some NCAA rules that they wanted to just get a better timetable for, and so that's kind of why they did it. They're going to go 4 days a week for 4 weeks, and the spring games at the end of February. well before most teams would even start spring ball. So there was a little method to their madness, and kind of it was a lot of scheduling and timing conflicts with some NCAA rules as well as player schedule that they wanted to kind of sort that out so they could do it early. And this is kind of the first go around with that. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Talking Arizona State football with Jordan Kay. You can join him and the rest of the staff there at House of Sparky, SB Nation's platform for Arizona State. I see in regards to the state breakdown of where these players are coming from, you've got no big surprise with California leading the way with 8 of 20, Arizona at 5, and Texas with 3. The transfer portal not necessarily affecting the roster too much, but maybe a player here where depth could be hurt.
Yeah, the linebacker position is obviously the biggest one. I believe Malik Lawal, who's a linebacker, going out, and then a redshirt or a senior linebacker, J.J. Wilson, is actually announced that he's transferring to Auburn, where he can play right away. I've heard early on that so he started his career at ASU as a tight end, then moved over to linebacker, and apparently he's going to make the jump back to offense with the Tigers over there. But he's a veteran guy, kind of lauded for his leadership abilities. So I definitely see him at least getting some sort of playing time, making some sort of impact with Auburn. So that's a good transfer to look for going into the SEC.